I'm scared all the time. I don't want to lose him. I don't want to be without him. There is like a very realness because we're living on borrowed time. We value that borrowed time so much, but we also acknowledge that it's borrowed time.
Back in December of 2020, the whole family had caught COVID, but I was the only one who had any sort of severe result from it. I went into the hospital just thinking that I had some shortness of breath, just wanted to be safe and cautious, ended up getting the COVID pneumonia and then just progressing downhill from there. Ended up on ECMO, and I don't remember a majority of my story because I was sedated for about 2 months. The double lung transplant was a result of my getting COVID.
Some people were able to be on ECMO and their lungs were able to heal from COVID, but Bob's, they just weren't healing. There was just too much scar tissue. So one, they wanted to see him that he could get stronger. So after being like in a drug-induced coma and not being active, they wanted to see that he was willing to like do PT and push through and work hard, because the surgery, from what I understood at the time, was it's intense and the recovery is intense. It is not for the weak. It is a brutal surgery. Also, I had to meet with a dietitian. So talking about, like, again, being compliant, not eating the wrong things. Certain foods can cause rejection. He has a ton of, like, not necessarily foods that he can't eat, but preparation. Infection leads to rejection. So they want to avoid that at all costs. I also met with the surgeon. I met with a pharmacist. They just want to really make sure that that you are going to protect and guard these lungs as though they were your own. One of the doctors in the ICU, so one of the critical care doctors, reached out and had said, I think he's going to need a transplant. He was sedated and on a paralytic when he was on ECMO and also a ventilator. The ECMO cannula came out, and they soon were able to get him transferred to St. Joe's Hospital that actually does the transplants. They actually sent us the pictures of his lungs when they took him out, and it is a miracle that he was even able to breathe. He had holes in his lungs. It was pretty bad.
One thing that's been amazing is through this process, seeing the just countless people that really have cared for us and reached out and that were there for us financially, that were there for us with their time, with their prayers, offering to help with food. So the amount of people that had nothing to gain but gave was really refreshing. It was really heartwarming to see.
I'm embarrassed to say that I was not an organ donor, and I didn't even know that. So as soon as this happened, I changed that on the organ donation website, and I never really thought much about organ donation. But I am forever grateful that this person and this family, their sacrifice and their pain is our second chance. That is the most precious gift that you can give someone, is more time.
This person was willing to do something just as simple as going online or checking that box at the DMV. It's such a small decision in the moment, but it has such a lasting impact and shows such a compassion for others.
What I would say to healthcare workers, you have no idea what an impact you make on people's lives. Your job is exhausting and it is tireless and can be thankless. You see people at their worst. They're sick and they're grumpy and their family members are freaking out. You have to deal with all of that in addition to your job. But please know that how you do your job forever stays in our hearts. Every day you go into work, you make a difference in people's lives. You made a difference in our life.
Go give him a hug. I'll hold your hand. Good job.